guys still need to do something.
Yo, I put it like wow, this that sound. These oaks don't work hard like me, I hope they know by now. Bayo Bab, stand my ground. Bro, these money trees go overseas like Percy Tau. I make sure you stay around, quiet when I'm under loud. No negatives allowed, me and positivity took a vow. I always play to win, don't anticipate loss. Mind always in the clown, my boy. Never think about the drop, never ever ever think about the drop.
It's a good week if you're a fan of the hashtag takeover. TAKEOVER on your keyboard. All around the world, worn out. It started here. It started at home. A little bit of a PTP takeover, the MKT Show. Little did we know that it would end up with Newcastle frickin' United becoming the richest football club in the world. Takeovers are the trend of the day. This is the PTP Show. Senzo missed France's insane comeback against Belgium. We're going to be talking about Newcastle. We got Flip on the line. We got MKT on the line. We got Senzo looking for a lifeline. This is the PTP Show. This is Friday. It's the long lunch. Don't pretend you're working. We're going to put some spinny things on the screen. We're going to get into the show right after that. This is the PTP show, a subdivision of the MKT show. I've been filling in all week for MKT while I thought he was running.
And mind you, you've been doing a stellar job.
No, you've been doing a stellar job, my man. This has been a teamwork. This has been ultimate teamwork. The vision of the MKT show is to bring to you a locker room vibe, and that's what this has been about all week. That man you see on the screen is Senzo. I'm going to address an elephant in the room. If during the show you hear some banging and knocking around, there may be work going on in the building. We'll do our best to minimize it. James blocked up the toilets because he's changed his diet. He's gone vegan this week. And look at him. He's gone vegan and these things happen. So we had to call in the plumbers. They're pulling pipes out. So we hope it doesn't disturb you too much. You shouldn't listen. Our clever guys doing the sound should be cutting that out. Senzo, we know nothing about football.
Absolutely diddly squat.
No, we actually know because we called Belgium the biggest frauds
to ever play football
in international football, and we were right. I was so surprised this morning. I walk in, Senzo didn't know that his France had come back. He was in disgust. He went to bed at 2-0.
At 2-0, like I was like, no, I can't watch this. This is hurting me already. So
what an insane game, insane series of events. Straight after that, Mbappe scores.
So you didn't want me to watch?
No, that's what happened. That's what happened. I mean, that last 20 minutes of that game
I saw the highlights. It was actually insane.
Bonkers. You know, we were talking yesterday, like, are France done? Is it maybe time for Deschamps to move on? What he must have done and the changes he made to that team in the second half. They came out, they were hungry.
They were crazy. They were on fire. They must have been...
You know what I mean?
Not in my name.
We were questioning yesterday, do you have motivation once you've won a World Cup? Those guys looked like not only didn't they have a World Cup, they looked like they hadn't eaten in months, and by winning the game, they'd be given sandwiches. They destroyed Belgium.
Making them sing for their supper, literally.
Sing for their supper. Golden generation of Belgium, that's it. It's got to be done.
Now it's done. It's a wrap.
They are finished. They are finished. They're not going to stretch this out to the 2018 or 2022 World Cup in Qatar. That region of the world is in the news at the moment.
Yeah, it's OPEC now.
We're going to be talking OPEC. We're going to be talking about it. MKT will join us later. Breaking news, Lewis Hamilton is set to receive 10-place grid penalty for Sunday's race. Internal combustion engine has exceeded his allocation. Hashtag Turkish GP. This is huge, Senzo.
Yeah, it is huge. But if you're going to take a penalty, take it now. Because you don't know what's going to happen this weekend. So take your medicine once and for all now.
Who's your favorite for that? Who's your favorite to take that?
Sir Lewis. I've got no time for Max Verstappen. No time for him.
Big news. That's breaking news on the PTP show. Now, listen, we're going to have a lot of fun in today's show. We're going to be talking a lot about Newcastle. It is the story of the day. Give them their time. They have become in one foul swoop, what's this, about 5 years in the making, this sale. Become the richest club in the world. Their owners are the richest people in the world. We're going to have fun. We're going to have jokes. We're going to give Newcastle their time. But I think this show isn't a serious football show. It's not a serious sports show. Sports is silly and sportsmen are ridiculous people. We like to have a laugh. But I think it's worth addressing Newcastle's owners, right? And what's going on here. And I think the broader picture. I just want to read to you now, the reason this took so much time to get through the door is that Newcastle haven't really been bought by Saudi Arabia. They've been bought by something, the Saudi Public Investment Fund, right? So the Bin Salman is the chairman.
Sure.
And there are a local Newcastle family who are property developers, made a lot of money. They're part of it, as well as Amanda Stavely, right? Now, I'm going to address a few things, right? I just want to read Amnesty International, right? This was Amnesty International say, under Mohammed bin Salman, the human rights situation in Saudi Arabia remains dire, with government critics, women's rights campaigners, Shia activists, and human defenders still being harassed and jailed, often after blatantly unfair trials. The closed-door trial of Jamal Khashoggi, this is the journalist who was killed last year, alleged killers, was widely perceived to be part of a wider whitewash by the authorities, and Saudi Arabia is accused of a catalogue of crimes under international humanitarian law during the long conflict in Yemen, right? So politics and sports shouldn't mix, but sometimes they do, because sports is the opiate of the masses, especially football, and powerful people want to control the masses.
That's
they want
right.
to control the image. We've seen the sports washing come in other football clubs. We've seen the Saudis sport wash through golf tournaments and tennis, and this is not new, right? So the cynic in me goes that this was held up because of they had to be assured that it wasn't Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, fit and proper person's test.
Right. This more so, the main holdup is the fact that Saudi Arabia don't play Premier League for their rights. They effectively pirate the stream. That's a very layman way of doing it. You can go read up and figure out how they do it. The thing here, though, is the door has been open for anybody to now come have a football club. Yeah. Right? These are not good people. And listen, we all smart enough. Make up your own mind. Is it Saudi Arabia? Is it this public investment fund? Who's calling the shots? Let's not be fools, right? Newcastle fans have your moment, because a fan doesn't choose who buys his club. Yeah. And of all fans in the Premier League, if all fans in England, other than those who have gone to the war, like the Derbys and Bury and things like that, Mike Ashley was a charlatan of a man. Okay.
Big time.
14 years that man ran a proud football club
into the ground.
Totally. Not just a football club, the area, right? Not only didn't he invest in the team, over 14 years, his average spend into Newcastle was over 10 million pounds.
That's ridiculous.
Okay, 10 million pounds is 10 million pounds, but that's not Premier League money.
It doesn't buy you anything in the Premier League.
That's not commitment. He has appointed one bad coach after the other. Okay, Benitez papered over a lot of cracks. He's not invested in St. James's Park. He sees it as just a giant billboard for his Sports Direct business. Do some reading on Mike Ashley on how he treats his Sports Direct staff. It's slave labor.
It's
as slave labor as you can get in the Western world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not a good guy. The area around the club has been left to ruin. The training facilities are left to ruin. The scouting in the club is left to ruin. There's no academy. There's no youth.
It's just the whole of Newcastle is just dilapidated.
And that is a proud part of the world.
Yeah.
Okay? There have come great footballers. It is a hotbed of football talent that hasn't produced a footballer in how many years? Right? Because of this man. Because of what he's done. Right? Okay, but now what do you want? He's just a dodgy businessman versus this Saudi regime owning your club. Yeah. Right? Okay. So Newcastle fans, have your moment. You deserve to dream, because that's the thing. I've got a Newcastle supporting friend, Cameron Naidu. I think he's watching today, and he helped contribute to something in the show. He deserves, the first thing I said to him is, at least you can hope. And that's what football fans want.
We all live in hope, eh?
You know what I mean? We don't have to win. We don't have to play the best football. We just want to hope.
Just make us dream.
Maybe next year. Maybe this will be the time. Maybe this guy will be the signing. That's all we want. And that's not been there for Newcastle.
Absolutely.
Ashley wants to finish 17th.
And he's comfortable with that.
If he gets relegated, it's cool, because he gets parachute payments and a full St. James Park every 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
He doesn't care. He does not care. Newcastle have not been in a cup final since 1999.
Yeah, where they got.
I doubt they've even been past third round.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. A club like that should be going deeper in cups.
Absolutely.
But that's not the mandate. Stay in the Premier League. Keep that money coming in. He's been trying to shift Newcastle for a couple of years. He's finally got it right. There you go. Let us have our moment. 100% Toon Army, and we're going to give it to you. Okay? This is just a thing that we're addressing, and I think uncomfortable things in football need to be addressed. And listen, I'm not going to be a hypocrite, because we're both Manchester United supporters, and we both know there's a very uncomfortable truth around Ronaldo. Okay? He's got a very, very dirty skeleton in his closet. And unfortunately, I read yesterday that the judge overlooking that case is actually going to dismiss it, not based on testimony or evidence, based on procedure, process. The sort of process that billionaire clients with millionaire lawyers seem to find, right? There's a lot of uncomfortable and ugliness in football. Football is dirty. We know this, right? Newcastle fans, you deserve your moments in the sun. It's time to dream. We're going to have a lot of conversation around it. But I want to say, the Premier League, you suck. The guys making these decisions in the Premier League. Because guess what? Saudi Arabia or dictators or men with money, no matter how they get it, are going to try to buy football clubs.
But that's the bottom line, though.
That's
if you've
it.
got money, then
You're going to try to do it. Fans are going to want people with lots of money running their football club.
Absolutely.
Okay? It's just the way it is. But
because
there
if
is
you have more money, you've got more possibilities.
more hope. But there are people sitting in the middle that are supposed to make the decisions based on what is good for the game. Okay? Premier League, this is what's going to happen, guys. This is where you're heading. You managed to stave off the little billionaires, the little billionaire boys club when they wanted a Super League.
Yeah.
You managed to come out of that smelling like roses. When you're now faced with guys with hundreds of billions,
With short hands and deep pockets.
right? And they decide they want a Super League. You cannot ban them. You cannot take it away. You cannot do anything to 100 billionaires when they decide to leave the Premier League.
Centi-billionaires. Yes.
You have been suckling at the teat of these billionaires for a long time, and they're going to leave you. They're
Now
all going
you
to
owe
leave you
them.
Premier League. Listen, I just want to talk about Saudi Arabia and football. You just have to do a bit of a Google search. 2018, Saudi Arabia denies punishing players for losing World Cup opener. Remember they lost 5-0
Yes.
against Russia. And the players got threatened with punishment. That they had to deny we ever said that. The fact that that's a story, there's no smoke without fire. Again in 2018, a Saudi Arabian footballer was threatened with legitimate jail time for dabbing. Okay?
That's ridiculous.
Dabbing is a criminal offense in Saudi Arabia because it elicits drug and celebrates drug culture. Okay? I think it should be banned and should be arrested for dabbing, period, because it imitates moron culture. But I'm an old man who shouts at clouds. Okay? I'm not saying Alain Saint-Maximin gets flogged in the streets the next time he dribbles the ball out for a goal kick. Okay? Guerrilla Africa, that is my friend Cameron. As in UFC fans, we've learned to deal with disappointment. We have hope with a pinch of salt. Whatevs. You guys need to enjoy it. Newcastle fans, I know we have a
Wrap it up.
Newcastle fan that regularly watches the show. We're going to celebrate Newcastle because coming up next, we're going to be talking about, I'm bringing back the Friday Five. We just have to address the ugly things in football when there are ugly things. We're all going to forget it. It's fine, right? We're going to move on with it. If it brings Haaland to the Premier League,
So be it.
you know what I mean. We're going to forget about it very quickly because let's just say that I'm willing to 100% bet that if you do a face scan of the Occupy Old Trafford crew, I'm willing to present 80% of those were standing in queue to buy Ronaldo shirts a few months ago.
Yeah.
Okay? Fans like shiny new players. And
Absolutely.
you bring shiny new players, we actually don't care.
Because the thing is, for us, we aren't in the boardroom really discussing the numbers. All we want to see is trophies and the coolest players.
That's it. But the problem is, when it inevitably comes, maybe we don't feel it because we're exactly the global market that the Super League is catered for. So we may actually escape from it, right? America, Africa, Asia. It's probably not going to affect us. In fact, we may get a very cool product. But it's going to affect those real fans. When the Super League happens, because you allowed multi-centi billionaires, great word, into your football, when they eventually leave, and they don't care if you ban the players. They'll just go buying players who don't care to be banned. Okay? The real fans lose. The real fans
The
lose.
diehards.
You know? Be careful of billionaire owners. They don't get it in because they want to be your friend. But listen, by all accounts, they're going to come in. They're going to redevelop St. James's Park. They're going to redevelop the area. They're going to upgrade the academy. They're going to upgrade the training ground. And that's the important parts of a football team. This is not about going to buy Robinho and Kaká straight away, because those idiot headlines will come. But this is about redeveloping the whole football club. If they do it the Man City way, Newcastle becomes a very powerful player.
Absolutely.
Not guaranteed, though. Everton have spent
exactly.
$500 million since their takeover.
Still floundering.
You know what I mean? Tottenham.
Same thing.
Got close, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of clubs with a lot of money not able to break through. So it's not guaranteed. But anyway, Newcastle fans, you're allowed to dream. And I asked the question, we're doing the Friday 5. MKT does the Friday 5 every weekend. I think it's going to be Newcastle themed today because it's about dreaming. And I want to look back at the 5 Newcastle players that make you dream. I'm of a generation that has a really soft spot for Newcastle because of the time they gave United the title, 12, 14 points ahead, and they just fell apart, gave us the title. But at that time, with Keegan and then with Bobby Robson, they were good, honest, attractive, hard-working football teams. And they had players that were the envy of a lot of teams in the league. I put this out to a Newcastle fan. Cameron came back to me. I said, listen, tell me about the players that makes Newcastle fans dream. Senzo, I want you to think about this as well. No particular order, although we're going to finish on number 1 is definitely number 1. First player, 5 Newcastle players who make you dream. Gotta love this guy. Colombian bandit. He got arrested for firing a machine gun at journalists. He has a range of condoms with his face on the package. Okay, when this guy signed for Newcastle, he signed from Parma. I don't even think today will Newcastle buy a player from Serie B Parma. When they bought him, it was big news. He was a big player. First up, Faustino Asprilla, the guy that had ripped it off
Maverick. The Maverick.
Listen, it's such a crazy story that Newcastle were 14 points ahead of Manchester United when he joined, and the whole run just ended.
It fell apart.
Is it linked to
I'd
him?
love it.
Who knows? I'd love it. But listen, Faustino Asprilla made you believe. He was such an outrageous player to see in the Premier League at the time. All legs, all limbs, all violence, all unpredictability.
All Colombian.
All Colombian, all the time. There you go. Oh, that guy's looking like he's enjoying the good life right now. Faustino Asprilla, he was an absolute legend in a Newcastle shirt. I can still see him now. Remember that Newcastle shirt with that sort of Pope-type collar?
Yeah.
Him running around in that gave Manchester United the league title. Number 5 in the list of Newcastle players that make us dream. Number 4, bad boys. Newcastle love a maverick.
Yeah, of course they
They
do.
love a maverick.
You know the Geordies. The Geordies are mad.
You don't get Geordie Shaw. You
There
don't
you
get
go.
you don't get more maverick than Hatem Ben Arfa. Okay, let's talk about this guy. This guy only recently, he's still playing, but he's without a club. Look at him, trophy on his head. Hatem Ben Arfa, absolute wild card, broke his leg very early in his time with Newcastle. You did not know what you're going to get with this man.
It was actually unhinged because like you could get like a Messi game from him, or you could get something like Balotelli, like where Balotelli, yes,
Sometimes in the same 10 minutes.
exactly.
Sometimes in the
And you'd
same
be like,
10
what the hell am I watching?
Loved Hatem Ben Arfa, spent some time at Hull and PSG. I very much doubt any player has those 2 clubs
Dude.
on their CV. Newcastle players who make us dream in the Friday 5. Johan Kabay, Dreamboat.
Oh,
Dreamboat, Cameron Naidu, thank you for this one. Love this guy. At the stage, he was linked with all the big clubs, seemed to always be on his way to Arsenal. What a fantastic player. Hit a mean free kick. Looked gorgeous
did he
doing
play
it.
for Palace at a stage?
He did. He went to PSG. And came back to play for Palace. Underrated midfielder. Johan Kabay made people dream. Just a workhorse. Just clever.
Yeah.
Tactical. Technical.
Smart.
Kept it ticking over. Smart player. So underrated. Wearing the Virgin Money kit there for Newcastle United. Hey, listen, Newcastle United, I got to feel sorry for you guys when you buy replica kits because it's pretty much the same every season, but I support Sporting, so I feel your pain. So that's number 3 on the Newcastle players who make you dream. This guy, not so much famous for what he did at Newcastle, but infamous for what he did at Chelsea. James hates him. He made Stevie G cry. Demba Ba.
My man.
Demba Ba. Ryan is very happy. The Chelsea guys are happy. That's what we remember him for. But remember, the guy came from West Ham, went to Newcastle with Papa Cisse.
Oh, Papa Cisse, yes.
Which one of them loved the syrup?
I can't remember.
One of them,
it
there was a
was
video
Demba Ba.
going around with
It was
one of
Demba
them
Ba, I think.
loved
Demba
the
Ba.
syrup. I think it was Demba Ba. James wants to chime in. Was it Demba Ba?
It was Demba Ba, and also just to repeat what you guys say quite often, I feel personally attacked. Is what you say? Is that the line? I feel triggered. What was the line?
It's triggered. We triggered James.
Yeah. I'm sad now.
Look, we're talking about his time at Newcastle United, but of course, you cannot talk about Demba Ba. There's Demba Ba and Cisse. That was my favorite iteration of the Newcastle kit with the very thick black stripes. I love that. I thought that looked so classy. He recently retired. He broke his leg the same day I broke my leg. So we are leg break brothers. Demba Ba made Stevie G cry, made the Geordies dream. Loved him.
What does it mean to be leg break brothers?
Well, you want to find out? I got a baseball bat in the car, and you and I can be leg break brothers. And listen, we're talking about players who made Newcastle fans dream. Listen, this guy made everyone dream. You cannot hate him. The guy hasn't played in 16 years. The La Liga scoring record has fallen. The Bundesliga scoring record is under threat by Lewandowski. To even get close to breaking this man's scoring record, Harry Kane is the only man in the running, will have to score 20 goals a season for the next 5 seasons just to be in contention. The man, he is the coal miner's son, Newcastle fan legend. He was giddy yesterday, but very realistic. He's anti-Ashley, but he is a fantastic striker. As a United fan, we hated him because of what could have been.
What could have been,
All-time Premier League top scorer, Alan Shearer. I mean, we're going to take a moment, look at that man and his beautiful bald head. This man was pure violence.
Nah, he was
Pure
insane.
Violence, of course, had some time at Blackburn, where he is one type of player, but when he went to Newcastle, you knew that in certain areas, Shearer is just going to violence the hell out of the ball.
Shearer.
The one-arm celebration, one hand up. The guy scored 260 Premier League goals.
That's insane.
He hasn't played in 15 seasons. No one is close to him. Wayne Rooney is on 208. This guy's all-time. No one is touching that record. And bear in mind, he played 2 seasons. He missed with terrible knee injuries.
Nah, Alan Shearer is...
And he played for, a Newcastle side that weren't challenging.
Yeah.
If he had made that move to Manchester United, this guy'd be close to over 300 goals. But I'm glad he didn't.
Yeah.
I'm glad he didn't, because he's an absolute Geordie icon. To see a player go back to his hometown club and be a 100% success, he made Newcastle fans believe. That is Alan Shearer. Give the man a knighthood. Greatest striker probably ever. Greatest ever English striker. I'll put that there. I'll put that there. He was a violence of a player.
Easily.
He didn't hit a ball. He headbutt a ball.
Smashed it.
Those are the 5 players that, according to my friend, I don't disagree. Maybe we'll discuss adding some more. Cameron Naidu, thank you for adding this. My favorite Geordie friend.
It's a great list.
It's a great list. Tino Asprilla, Hatem Ben Arfa, Johan Cabaye, Demba Ba, Alan Shearer, Senzo, anyone else?
Laurent Robert.
I had this question when Cameron sent me that list. I said, no Ginola?
David Ginola.
He said, I'd take Laurent Robert over Ginola.
No ways. Not a chance. There's no ways.
He said, this is our conversation. He said, you're just thinking of the lovely flowing hair of Ginola. And I said, yes, I'm a sucker for men with hair.
But the skill levels, guys. Ginola was crazy.
Ginola was a different level. Listen, I'm not a Newcastle fan, so obviously I've got to take it from where the man who made them dream. Robert was a great player, fantastic player. Ginola was just doing things at the time. Amazing. Maybe he's not so much linked with Newcastle because he still had success at Tottenham, went to Villa, went to Everton. At Villa, took his shirt off, embarrassed his manager, embarrassed every single male human in the world. Anyone else in the list? Who can we think of? Saint Maximin, I know he's a bit newer, hasn't really had a run. I love him.
Obafemi Martins?
Obafemi Martins. 49-year-old Obafemi Martins. With a flick-flack celebration.
Dude, flick-flack like...
That was mad. A player I want to put in there, Newcastle fans maybe don't love him. And I know we've got another Newcastle fan, normally pops up in our comments.
Otile Mokhale.
That's it. Is he on today?
Yeah, yes.
Tell him comment. We want to hear from him.
He's watching. Otile, give us a shout. Who are we forgetting?
Give us a shout. Are we forgetting anyone? I want to know from Newcastle fans, what do you guys think of putting Andy Cole in this list? He left very controversially. Okay. I remember the fans on the steps, Kevin Keegan coming to have to explain himself. Andy Cole was this. I remember first watching him, right? Andy Cole was this insane striker, something that we hadn't seen in English football yet. He was sort of this hybrid of Ian Wright was this very new modern centre forward in English football, and Andy Cole was the one up from that. That first season that he came into England, I think he finished into the Premier League. I think he finished top scorer in that season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
and
he did.
Peter
think,
Beardsley ended top assist provider. A madness for a newly promoted team.
Crazy.
A madness for a newly promoted team. So another Peter Beardsley throw in there. I'm biased towards Andy Cole. Andy Cole, he scores goals. But of course I can understand Newcastle supporters not wanting to celebrate Andy Cole. Anyone we've left off the list?
Geordies, let us know. Let us know who we've left off.
Jermaine Genius.
Lee
Craig
Bowyer.
Bellamy. Craig Bellamy,
Craig Bellamy,
the man who could start a fight in an empty room, punched Kieran Dyer in the face. Poor Sir Bobby Robson.
Lee Bowyer and Kieran Dyer, remember that?
He had to deal with those three. Lee Bowyer, Kieran Dyer, Bellamy, all at the same time. Bobby Robson, you did not deserve that.
Honestly.
Listen, Newcastle fans, we're celebrating your club today. Please get in touch if you're a Newcastle fan. Give us your thoughts. We're going to be having a lot of fun in Newcastle, talking about who they could sign, who the potential managers are, what next for them. Does Haaland come? The guy grew up in Norway. He doesn't mind bad weather. Could it be Haaland? You heard it here first. This is the PTP show. It's about Newcastle today. Listen, it's all about fun. We're all going to dream. We're all playing FIFA this weekend and taking Newcastle and seeing what we can do with them. Signing Mbappe, signing Salah, signing Messi. Complete takeover. The takeover is done. Newcastle, where are you? Where are you going to be? Away the lads. This is a PDP show. Put some squiggly things on the screen, James. I want to see them. There's a lot of crime breaking. There's a lot of crime. Dab-based crime in here. I've seen 4 dabs. Breaking news. Ronaldo has been named EA Sports Premier League Player of the Month for September after scoring 3 goals for #MUFC. That's like the official one, right? It's not like just in a video game.
Yeah.
That's the official one. Deserving?
No, because it's Ronaldo.
James shaking his head with 3 goals.
Can I even try comparing him to Salah real quick, or no?
You can, but you'll fall short.
Will I?
You can, but you'll fall short.
Okay.
I think it looks it's less impressive when you see 3 goals.
Yeah,
You know what
dude.
I mean?
You know what I'm saying? Salah, if I'm not mistaken, has scored 8 in 8, or what's it
not
now?
about Salah.
9 in 8 or something.
I mean, Vardy scored 2 in one game, didn't he?
Did.
I mean, there's been a
Why are
couple
we
of
just
doubles.
gifting this thing to... Like I said on the show before, right? It's genuinely nothing against Ronaldo. I love Ronaldo. But why are we just gifting this to the guy, bro?
It's got to be contractual. It's got to be contractual. It has to be, you'll at least get 4. You'll get 4 in a season. Has to be contractual.
I don't know. I have problems believing this. Although I just have problems in general.
You just have problems. No, listen, I'm with you. I mean, listen, that's all fine and well, and it looks great, and that's why I question, is it a real thing? Because I see, like, it's EA Sports FIFA thing, and he scored 3 goals. I'm like, okay. I mean, that's fine. It obviously has to be contractual. We spoke about Newcastle United fans. We want to hear from you. Norberto Solano in the list, the Peruvian. A favorite, a fan favorite.
Yeah, culture.
Fan favorite. And Otsile saying Wijnaldum and Sissoko made him dream. You forget that they were there, especially Wijnaldum. You forget that they were there. Kutle asking, could Newcastle buy Fred for 60 million?
Yeah, they can have him.
They can have him?
For free.
They can have him for free. That's what you say. Shea Given, legend in goals. Pavel Srnicek.
Oh, I forgot about him.
As well, I think he passed away. I think he's a late Pavel
I think
Srnicek, if I'm not mistaken. So Newcastle, let's talk about it. Unless you want to pop up things from the social, please just chime in. Let's now play fantasy football with Saudi Arabian money.
Cool.
Okay? So we've seen outrageous players get linked with Newcastle. Mbappe's not going to happen. Neymar's not happening. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
They'll be stupid if they do. I mean, it's sort of like, it reminds you of the Kaká and Robinho thing.
Yeah.
in the City days. Remember that. And then they went through a whole bunch of Roque Santa Cruz, and they got
Joe, Elano,
and they were gun for hire. So you've seen the ridiculous players. I saw an article yesterday on Football 365 going through the likes of Dean Henderson, Jesse Lingard. Coutinho keeps popping up.
I'll do it.
James has got a weird look on his face. Stay away, right? Newcastle fans don't need that. Coutinho needs a haircut. They don't need him.
Need that kind of negativity in their life.
But James, at least then you get your money back.
Oh, that is true.
Liverpool
Newcastle would pay us back. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
think about the bottom line. Think like Henry. That's what he's thinking. He's going, we got to make this move happen.
Do you know who I feel for in this whole saga? Steve Bruce.
Yep.
He's going to have to file for unemployment.
Look, he already accepts that his job's probably gone. I've seen, obviously, the crazy one is Zidane getting linked. But more sensibly, Frank Lampard, his name's popped up.
Listen to the names that have popped up. I'll give them to you now. It's
going to be outrageous.
Antonio Conte.
No, you know what? I think there's got to be a separation here, right? There's got to be finish the rest of the season and then build for next, right? Okay, Antonio Conte.
Steven Gerrard.
Steven Gerrard is a big call. Does he go into it right now? Remember where Newcastle are. It takes a big manager to get them out of that situation. I think they're currently sitting bottom three. Am I not?
19th.
19th. It takes a big manager to turn that around because guess what? That money's not there now. You don't get players, and what players are you really going to bring in January?
Exactly.
So it takes a big manager. Gerrard, you're doing great things in Scotland. No pressure on you. Maybe one day, just stay off for now.
Frank Lampard, as you mentioned. Rafa Benitez.
Yeah, Benitez. Listen, Benitez is the crazy one. So crazy it just might happen. But I mean, he's just getting over the Everton fans. Some of them are starting to accept him.
Yeah, they're starting to warm up to him, yeah.
Oh, well, they will. With the things they won't do if he goes back to Newcastle.
Eddie Howe.
Yeah, Eddie Howe, the great white hope. I don't know about that.
And last but not least, Arsene Wenger.
Always. Arsene Wenger's trying to ruin the World Cup. He's got no time for that.
You think so?
He's got no time for that. He's trying to get a World Cup in Saudi Arabia every 2 years. He's got no time for that. The ones there. So look, listen. I mean, Newcastle fans, let us know what you think. I feel for Steve Bruce because obviously we've got an affinity to him because as a Manchester United captain, first Premier League winning captain, absolute legend, top goal scoring defender. You know, so we love Steve Bruce and he's become a little bit of a weird character as a manager. I'm going to miss the Brucey bonus. I'm going to miss the 3 points, maybe 6 points that were guaranteed every season when you play a Steve Bruce team.
Yeah.
But he'll pop up somewhere else. Only a certain manager gets Newcastle out of the situation because you're not making the signings.
But who you gonna entrust with that job?
You know what? Or do you want a dead man walking? If Bruce knows he's going to go eventually, do you want a dead man walking?
That is the thing. Like it's a bit tricky now because now they're saying whoever is coming, they're gonna give them £400 million to spend.
But you don't get it now.
Exactly.
It makes no difference to you right now. You need a manager who's going to keep you in the Premier League. You're going to need a manager who's not a dead man walking.
Who's this guy? Big Sam. You know Big Sam. This is right for him. Get them out.
Didn't he leave there quite acrimoniously?
Come back.
You need Newcastle. Oh, listen. The lols we will have
if they get relegated.
Can you imagine the scenes? Because they can't spend the money now.
If they get relegated, that will be brilliant.
This scene's Newcastle fans. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you.
I'd love it if they get relegated.
That's goal 5.
Actually,
goal 5 is them getting relegated with billions, and goal 6 is then them coming back.
Nah, but football's become ridiculous, actually.
Oh my God. Can you imagine they get relegated that out? Because it's not, that money makes no difference now. You're 19th in the Premier League. You cannot bring any player in.
Unless they're out of contract.
Who's out of contract? Hatton Ben Arfa.
Jack Wilshere.
Get Hatton Ben Arfa and Jack Wilshere back in your central midfield.
And then you have Saint Maximin. Yes. No.
Scenes. Saint Maximin, did I see right? He shaved his head.
I don't know.
Go check him out. Go check him out on social media. There's a photo of him, a picture of him laughing. I'm pretty sure it's Saint Maximin has shaved his head. Saint Maximin, the owner of TikTok, he rules it. Newcastle fans, what if you get relegated? The money makes no difference to you right now. What Sila's saying, the problem with Gerrard and Lampard is they don't have enough experience to take us forward over the long term. 100%. Listen, Steven Gerrard is building something very nice there. He's mooted as Klopp's replacement. Hey guys, listen, if you're going to do that, James nodding his head. There's a club in London wears blue, appointed a club legend. Look how that turned out. There is a club down the road of you wears red, appointed a club legend, a way smaller club legend, but still a club legend than Gerrard was to Liverpool. Look how that's going for you. So please, Liverpool, 100%, appoint Gerrard. Go for it. James, you know it's going to end. It's going to end in... Look at Solskjaer, look at Lampard, look at Pirlo. It does not end well. Why would you go do this? These are the Moneyball guys. Why would they make this move?
If there's one thing I've learned from MKT, is that in life there will always be an anomaly. And Stevie G could be it. Maybe it's written in the stars because of how his career went.
His career slipped away from him. I was going to say it. I hate making the dad joke, but you opened it up for me. You opened it up for me. This is the PTP show. We're going to have Flip. This is a long lunch. I know MKT likes to think that people take a long lunch on Friday. Hey, listen, you get to certain levels. People just don't work on Fridays.
Yeah, they're like, listen, every weekend's a long weekend.
If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're on the podcast, maybe Google this. But we spoke earlier about Saudi Arabia. These aren't the best people. They don't treat footballers well. A footballer in Saudi Arabia got threatened with jail time for dabbing because it promotes drug and gangster culture.
My man.
That is the poster. That is the official statement. It looks like the cat in the hat. That is a Pansula dancer there wearing his cavelas. I know it, wearing his bucket hat, dabbing. This is a real thing that went out in a real country, a country that is now the richest football club owners in the world. They banned dabbing. Pogba's out. Lingard's out. Raiola, don't even get on the phone. Don't even get on the phone. They don't want dabbing bastards in the football club.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. They take the fun out of things.
We're actually going to put that up on the door in the studio because I saw way too many dabs for my 41-year-old sensitivities. James just did it again. We skipped this over. I sort of mentioned it yesterday. It is Friday. Along with the Friday 5, I like to do a little thing called Paolo's Weird World of Football. James normally makes a graphic for it. I don't mind if you haven't changed it up this week, but just chuck up the one that we normally have if it's in your little wheelhouse there. There we go. Looking like a nightmare. There's 4 or 5 different fonts. I mean, a cracked version of MS Paint. Senzo, absolute scenes. What do you think of this piece of crap?
It's awesome.
It is.
It's weird. I love it.
Like we say, it takes... like we're saying, we're having a conversation yesterday of saying, when you're trying to make something look good and you don't have the skills, you steal a template, right? Canva. There's so many templates all over the place that you can fake your way to being good.
Fake it till you make it, yeah.
Exactly, right? When you really know how to use Photoshop, you can make things like James has just made. Because like all the signs he's made, that's like you have to understand how to use the platform to make something look so rubbish.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's amazing. The man looks like it's a shampoo bottle. James, you've outdone yourself again. I just want to commend you. You're doing a great job on these graphics. It's terrible.
Remember how I told you how I constantly wanted to make it nice while I was making it, and then I realized I couldn't because what we were going for was Microsoft Paint. And then thankfully my laptop actually gave up, so I had to resort to using Windows 97 on Microsoft Paint. And that's how we got here.
That's amazing. That's so good. That's so good.
I overcame adversity.
And that's why you're on the show, James. That's what we really enjoy about you. I want to do Paolo's Weird World of Football. This is where I go into the world of football. Listen, the world of football is weird enough as it is
honestly,
today,
like,
right?
Like, what are we doing?
You wouldn't believe it. If this was the plot of Goal 5, I wouldn't believe it. I'd say you're lying.
This is unhinged. I think we're all going to wake up and we're going to be like, did you have the same dream that we had? It feels like we're in the Matrix.
Dude, metaverse. We're in the metaverse. Everything is a simulation. You have to believe that's what's happening. Weird World of Football. Today I want to speak to you about a Portuguese player who... Let me just read you the list of things that this guy has won. Now, I know Senzo knows him. Senzo knows him well. He's been awarded the best player in the world 6 times. Mm-hmm. He's won multiple UEFA Cups. He's a top scorer. He is a world champion. He's a Portuguese football world champion, but we're not talking about football. We're talking about futsal. In futsal, you don't have to be Messi or Ronaldo. You don't have to choose between the two. Because if Messi and Ronaldo had a child, and that child played futsal, he would be this player. Okay. And you scroll through this player's Instagram, and I mean, what do you see here? You're seeing, it's a normal footballer's feed, right? Workout feeds. photos with Figu, Roberto Carlos, photos of him holding his customized boots. The guy's every inch a footballer, but not many inches, because he stands at a diminutive 5'6".
1.67 meters.
1.67 meters. He's shorter than Messi. The man I'm talking about is the greatest futsal player probably ever, probably just overtaken Falcao, who's his hero. Could we say Falcao? Well, by the awards, he is.
Yeah.
The man's name is Ricardinho, if you've never heard of him. Okay, the greatest futsal player in the history of the game, Ricardinho, Portuguese futsal player, world champion.
Super player.
It doesn't surprise me to read the other day. I didn't see the one futsal World Cup game. I read he only scored 2 goals. One of the goals was a spinning back heel.
What the hell?
In the match reports I read, Ricardinho equalized with a spinning back heel.
But his Portugal national team stats are ridiculous.
It is outrageous.
161 caps, 135 goals.
Now, futsal, obviously there are a lot of goals, but you still have to score them. You know what I mean?
You have to put the ball in the net.
You have to put the ball in the net. And the futsal World Cup, the top scorer only had 8 goals. You'd think it's going to be a lot more. The top scorer only had 8 or 9. So it is a tougher game than it ever was. So Ricardinho, you got to look for him. Tiny little guy, the most Portuguese looking person you will ever see. Everybody knows a guy who looks exactly like him. You probably play indoor soccer against him somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
You probably have played against him. The guy's skills are amazing. He could have been a professional football player. He was with Porto. He was training with Porto up until the age of 14. Current Portugal national team manager rejected him.
Why?
Said, you're too small, you'll never be a professional. And turned him away. He was heartbroken, 14 years old. He's never going to play the game again. Gave up football for a while, normal 11 aside, and started playing futsal. Now, futsal, if you don't know, is not indoor soccer. There's no walls. It's not action soccer. It is 5-a-side soccer, but with outs, where they have kick-ins, there are corners, there are goal kicks. Goalkeepers can rush, and it is growing. It is massive in South America.
A whole lot of skill.
Neymar grew up on futsal. Ronaldinho, Deco, any like legit Paul Pogba. Most of the French players who grew up in France.
Yeah, like especially like in the projects, like in the hoods of France.
There's a nicer French sounding name for them.
Yeah.
It's with a B. There's a but yes. I mean, carry on with that thought.
Yeah, so like those guys, they just destroy you. There's a thing about it on Netflix.
Yeah, it is.
About the guys in France and the futsal, and they are ridiculous.
It is a different level of game. So any highly technical street footballer grew up playing futsal, and futsal's obviously become more popular because it's played by kids who tend to live in projects or highly developed areas, not much green spaces, no football fields, so they play on basketball courts or futsal courts, and they hone their skills. So the action is frantic, it's quick, it's very skillful, it is baller.
Yeah, it is baller.
You know, there are crazy things happening all the time. So Ricardinho, the greatest futsal player, you got to look for a goal. You got to Google this for yourself, right? It's a goal. Look for Ricardinho, Serbia, 2016, right? You got to find that goal. It's gone down as the greatest goal ever scored in futsal. It looks like something out of FIFA Volta mode. If you play FIFA, Volta is the indoor variation of that.
Absolute rubbish.
But you watch that, that's what futsal is. Ricardinho is that sort of player. When you watch that, you see these are crazy little things that I'm looking at. Ricardinho does that. He's a bit on the way, and he's 36 years old. He's a month older than Ronaldo, and he's starting to see it. He's starting to slow down a little bit. But peak Ricardinho is as good a player with the ball. It looks like a Red Bull street baller. Remember those guys?
Yeah.
He looks 100% like those. You've got to find this goal.
No.
Ricardinho, Serbia, Euro 2016. Describe this goal.
So there are like 3 defenders in front of him. And what he does is like he holds it, and then he does this little flick. Like it's I actually can't describe it. You have to go watch it. Like it's.
You cannot describe this.
No, man. This is ridiculous. Guys.
Ricardinho, Serbia, 2016. So he's played all around. Obviously, futsal is quite big in Europe, but the big money. He's played a lot of time in Benfica. He currently plays in France, but he's played in Japan. We made a lot of money. moving to Japan in futsal is like moving to China, as well as Moscow. They paid him 40,000 euros a month
Jeez.
to play futsal. Nice job if you can get it. He's played in Spain. He wasn't happy with the club's professionalism in Russia. Felt that it's fine to give me the money. I need a good club, or I'm not gonna thrive here. He went 6 months in, and we mentioned the name Falcao. Now Falcao, this is not the guy who flopped at Manchester United. Great goal scorer, amazing hair, playing with Bebe at Rayo Vallecano. The weird world of football. It keeps getting weirder, but Falcao of futsal is a Brazilian player, played into his 40s. He was the guy in futsal.
Yeah.
Just as insane. The Pele of futsal.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
He was the Pele of futsal. And he is obviously Ricardinho's hero, to the point that Ricardinho has a tattoo of Falcao on his calf. So
that's commitment.
That's commitment. So I hope I've taught you a new name today. Paulo's Weird World of Football. The guy's name is Ricardinho. He is part Messi, part Ronaldo, all Portuguese. Trust me on this. Ricardinho. That's how you spell it. Go Google him. You definitely know him. If you know a Portuguese guy, this is your Portuguese friend's cousin, brother, sister. Somebody knows him. I'm allowed to say that. Paulo's Weird World of Football, bringing you the different side of football. Different side. A lot of fun. I love futsal. I love watching it.
I can't.
Can't? Oh, it's action.
It's showboating for me.
Oh, but that's cool, though. Sometimes you just want to escape. Games are short. There's always something on it.
That's the PSL for you.
But like I said, the thing about watching a futsal play is that futsal players look like what footballers look like without the money.
Yes.
Right? Not groomed, not shiny, not dewy. They just look
all
like
flash.
Yeah.
All flash.
They don't have all flashy skills.
It's tacky.
There's a grittiness to it. It's in line to be an Olympic sport. Hell, if skateboarding and windsurfing could be an Olympic sport, why the hell not?
Why not futsal there?
Put futsal in there. That is the Ricardinho Paulo's Weird World of Football. We're hoping to join up with Flip Fundamava or MKT. We'll find out which one of them is available. We've got a couple of minutes. Ryan, before we go, tell me if we have enough time. You were asking the guys before, when is a duck not a duck? This is the sort of crap we talk about before the show.
No, so I read a thing on Instagram about just before the show started, and it was a friend of mine who posted on a story, and all he said was that everything in the world, everything in existence, is either a duck or not a duck, and no one got it. James is still, look at him, he's puzzled.
I'm puzzled.
So,
well, it's true, because either it's a duck or not a duck.
Or it's not a duck. That's all I said.
Okay, so with that being said, then everything in the world is a light bulb and not a light bulb. Why are we doing this whole pointing out the obvious thing?
Well, I was just when I read it, I thought it was an interesting fact, and then James couldn't understand it, so I went around the studio and I was like, "Hey guys, everything in the world is either a duck or not a duck." And James just had that puzzled look on his face, like now I think he's caught onto it. I asked you, Paolo, if you caught onto it. You didn't at first, but I think.
Well, I thought it was deeper than that. So it's true, because either everything is a duck or not a duck.
Yeah.
But it's like James says, either everything is a guava roll or not a guava roll.
Exactly.
Well,
what is this thing we're doing where we're just like...
No, but this is the... And then you asked me to save it for the show.
Which I regret.
Now it's not as deep and profound as what you had originally
You see,
thought.
This is the thing. Because we want to do a full takeover, MKT can sometimes go into his philosophical soliloquies. And I felt I wanted to do that, and I felt that that's what this was going to bring. But the best we can do is everything in the universe is either a duck or not a duck, is either a guava roll or not a guava roll. I don't think anybody's been enlightened.
Sorry to disappoint
No.
no one. It was just a fun fact, and the fact that James didn't catch it, I couldn't believe it when he went to St. Stithians.
I don't know why you're shocked that I didn't catch that. I'm slow on most days, so...
No. Ryan, thank you for bringing that to us. We've got to open up everyone's brains. Today is the PTP takeover. along with the Saudi takeover, the Newcastle takeover, Senzo's taking over social media, MKT is going to be on the screen eventually, Flip's going to be on the screen eventually. Everything in the universe is either a duck
Or not a duck.
or not a duck.
Simple as that.
I promise you we've not been drinking. We've not been dabbing because it's illegal. I don't want to be flogged in the street.
Oh my goodness.
I don't want to have my elbows chopped off.
You guys are unhinged.
The scenes. The scenes. Go have a wee. Go have a little bit of a wee now. That's what we call it, a little bit of a wee break. That's an industry
It's
word.
a long lunch, so go pour yourself a bever.
There you do.
And Beza.
This is the PTP show, a subsidiary of the MKT show. That was a long one. Hope you had a good, whatever you did in that break. It is the long lunch, the PTP show. It's over, been an overtake Friday, been an overtake kind of day. Newcastle United, the richest football club in the world.
I'll never get used to that.
Did you see the stat of City's owners? Like, only like 10 billionaire. It was like 300 billion.
320.
320 billion. The mind boggles.
That's FU money.
Dream team. Haaland, like we said, not great weather in Norway.
Bro, they'll have whoever they want. With that kind of money, like, I actually can't even wrap my head around it. Like, it's weird.
I think one thing we mentioned yesterday is that, like, whatever it is, even Newcastle in the heyday when they were Premier League title contenders, Newcastle is not the greatest place to live. Now, maybe part of the plan is to redevelop the whole area and make it very attractive. But to be honest, it's not London and is not the nicer parts of Manchester. And you're always going to be competing for those clubs. Everton have spent $500 million. And they've not broken through. Tottenham leveraged everything.
They bet it all on the house.
They bet it all on the house, and you're still 19th in the league. That's the reality of it, but have fun. Enjoy your day. Who are we to take it away from you? This is the PTP show. I believe we have a massive... Senzo, Flip. He devoured that chair.
Colossal, eh?
He devoured that chair.
Yeah, it doesn't sit right anymore.
No, it's done. It's damaged. It's stretched out. It's it's just you just don't want to go there anymore. Flip Van der Merwe. James is going to bring him up on the screen. Look at him over there. Great shirt. It's business time for Flip.
You're calling me fat?
No.
No. I would never call you anything other than sir.
Accepted.
Flip, so you're back in France. How about your whirlwind trip through South Africa? Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was fun. Fun to catch up with family. Fun to meet you guys in person finally. I mean, been a long time. Equally happy to be back. It's beautiful weather over here. It's actually a little bit crazy. And straight back into the things. Straight back into working. Done with braaiing and brandy.
Oh, yeah.
You sort of got to take it like microdose yourself on brandy because it's way too much.
Exactly.
Do you have any substitutes for brandy out in France? I mean, brandy's such a South African thing. I mean, you have stuff, but not the same.
It is such a South African thing. It's like, all the brandies are called French names, Richelieu and whatever. But it's you do get a Spanish version. It's not the quality. It's like almost like the Roy Proppy that the guys drink on the street corners. So you don't really want to get involved in there. But it's a very much like Amarula, very much South African thing.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. It is just one of those things that.
How did the exams go, Senzo? Did you pass?
Senzo is.
Jeez, Flip. If I can tell you a story about that, the institution that I go to, they're so disorganized. So there might be a rewrite, might be a deferred. Some people saw the test, some people didn't.
Saying UNISA?
No, it's not UNISA. No, I don't do that kind of correspondence. But yeah. Anyway, you see, I've lost. Yeah, I probably weigh as much as your forearm now. Stressing and yeah. But what's done is done. Mate. No, it's okay. It's not your fault. It's admin issues. Otherwise, how you Flip?
It's South African tax. I mean, you can just wing it.
Yeah, I'd love to, but gee whiz. It's not what you know. Do you know what the answer is in tax? Yeah. It depends.
Yeah.
It depends.
We were hoping that once Senzo was qualified, we could offer the Senzo guarantee that he'll come, you relax, he does your tax, plays some sax, and then takes you to get vaxxed. And that's the guarantee. But he's done no tax, so we're back to square one.
Yeah, I need a rebate.
What's the latest? I mean, are you sending an angry Karen type email to anyone yet?
No, I have. I've been sending angry Karen type emails a whole week. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, Anyway, I'm in my sanctuary now.
In the sanctuary, safe.
On the long lunch with Flip. So yeah.
Flip, you're putting in a hard day's work there. I see business type signs behind you. You look like you're in an office.
It is very much sponsored by myself. Actually moved into a new office as of when I landed back on Monday. So yeah, testing out the new facilities. We'll see how this goes. First error is that I have to go cordless on my call. So I hope the sound quality is good. James will probably get on my case.
Don't worry about James. James, we'll deal with him. We've just instituted a no dabbing policy in the studio. I don't know if you've watched what's happened this week. MKT left. I wasn't humble about it. I've got no qualms. I took over his parking space. We've changed the sign. I don't know if you've seen the sign. You guys just want to pop it on there. Let Flip see the PTP show sign. I imagine MKT spent at least 1,000 rand. I think I've caused such chaos to ask the guys to move the camera. MKT probably spent the best part of a few thousand rand on a high quality backlit sign, but that's the finest James could do.
Yeah.
Some
it's real
masking tape
professional.
it is masking tape and a Cokie, and the takeover is complete. So we 100% dominate the show. It's less sport than usual. Actually, no, I think there's a lot more sport.
There is a lot more sport. And also, I mean, you started a trend. So they saw you take over something, then the Saudis were like, yeah, it's our time now.
Well, that's why I want to bring Flip in. Obviously, takeover is quite huge. I don't know if you've seen the story about a despotic state owning quite a proud English football club. Saudi Arabia, technically, they say it's not, but it is. Owning Newcastle United. Has that story come across you? What do you think about it?
Yeah, I've heard of it in the corridors. I mean, have any of you ever been to Newcastle? Not place that sells the dream of going to. And also, there's one supporter, isn't it? It's like CS du Plessis is the only guy supporting Newcastle. Other than that, I've never come across anyone actually say that name. Yeah, I don't know what to feel. How you're the expert. Take me through it quickly.
Well, so we're going to tell you, it makes Newcastle 10 times richer than your boys down in Paris. So if you think those guys had a lot of money to throw around, they're 10 times richer. But we're just talking about Saudi Arabia, and they're sort of, there's a lot of problems there. Human rights issues. They don't recognize women. They don't recognize gay people. I think it throws quite a lot of things into the air. We're talking earlier at the beginning of the show about, addressing ugly things in football, because there are ugly things. And, one of the things I was thinking about is that, listen, statistically, is that there has to be at least one gay player in every single football club. That just makes sense that it would be. And now you're saying if there's a club owned by a country who don't accept it, how does it ever give a safe space for anybody? And any of the Premier League sort of initiatives of rainbow laces or taking the knee, it just throws all of that out the window once you allow these super clubs into it. It's the concept, Flip, of sport washing that we've seen around the world. Obviously, Saudi Arabia are quite big with it, taking everything over there. How do you feel as an ex-sportsman of, these states with like very bad human rights records or things to hide, using sports as a very cynical way to get people to admire them and sort of like excuse what they do on a day-to-day basis?
That's a great point. Are these the same guys that own PSG? Or
no, it's PSG is owned by the Qataris.
Yeah, it's Qataris, and then Man City is guys from the UAE. And then Saudi Arabia's come to play now.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
it's a. Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah, it is like Oprah.
No, it's a great point that you said. I think a lot of people actually do it, and it's the scary part of all where you see the DNA of a club is how easy they accept these offers for what the club stands for, and all the ethos and greenwashing or whatever washing you want to call it going around. And then as soon as the cash comes in, we all say, okay, let's just forget about all the nitty gritty. We'll get these guys. We'll do what we do, but now we have cash. I suppose I'll stay and believe. Like with technology, I believe we can use it for the good. So maybe Newcastle, they can build up their community around them and still spread the good things with a little bit of cash to have. Build up academies, build up stuff. We can agree they will never change Saudi Arabia. They're just a club. And other than that, it's a very interesting point. I never thought about that. Actually,
well, I mean, it's a great observation you make, Flip, because that's exactly it. If they come in and the model is Manchester City and PSG to a degree, but Manchester City have completely redeveloped the area of Manchester. Like you said, Newcastle's not a great place to go through. It's not even one of those places you want to pass through. So it makes it very difficult to attract, the cream of the crop players who have the option to play in Madrid or Paris or London.
That's just what I'm going to ask. Who the hell is going to go play there?
Exactly.
Cash as well, huh?
Exactly. And the sort of player that's going to go play there for money is, do you want that sort of player? So, but listen, we've seen with all the oil states, they do come into an area. The Saudis are very much in bed with the British government anyway. So, it's not time to start getting.
What is the
precious
entry
about
point?
it.
Why do these guys want to invest in the football? Is it
The
like a little
Saudis?
bit
Well,
of a-
I mean, the cynical side of it is a sport washing. Is like they've seen what the Qataris and the UAE have been able to do. That's the arms race, and also ultimately what they're saying with the fund that's used for the investment is there's going to be less and less need for oil one day. I mean, so they've got to start looking at diversifying and bringing other revenue in and go, well, maybe one day the world doesn't need oil. I mean, I've heard that sort of argument go around. And they're diversifying, and there will be property development because part of the consortium is there are property developers from the area, a very wealthy family. So as long as that sort of stuff comes in and you sort of go, okay, well, they're doing some good, and like you say, they can't change Saudi Arabia, but if this is a little part of it, and who knows, maybe this long term, this is what they want to do. Countries got to change.
So ultimately, Flip, the guy that so the consortium that bought Newcastle, right? He said he's suspected by U.S. intelligence to have approved the killing of the journalist Jamal, that journalist that died. So they think he's the guy that killed him. So yeah, these guys are like proper. These guys are proper mafia.
And also hid the alleged killers.
Only good news.
Yeah.
They hid the alleged killers. They hid
the
alleged killers. Listen, it's all very heavy stuff. Sometimes we do have to get heavy on.
They should go back and get a sword or an AK-47, like the club last week. What's the
exactly? And that's the crazy thing. Last week we were talking about FC Sheriff being owned by ex-KGB agents, and then this week we got Saudi Arabia. Football is the craziest thing. Like a movie. Flip, yesterday we did a segment on the show that people really took to. We listed up our favorite sports movies. Okay, so we chucked up a list and a lot of people joined in. Any Given Sunday was in there. Creed was in there. Funny enough, Rocky never popped up anywhere.
Creed is Rocky, basically.
I think it shows the age of our audience. Rocky is quite old, but yes, Creed is the new take on it. Mighty Ducks was obviously right in there.
Rocky 7.
Well, Creed is like Rocky 8, so...
Yeah, Creed is Rocky, the new Rocky. Sports movies on your radar. What's your favorite that we can add to our list?
What's the Irreplaceables? So what's the one with Keanu Reeves?
The Replacements.
I was trying to think about that. The Replacements.
The Replacements.
The Replacements. That's based on a true story of when there was an NFL strike. Yeah. They got in a whole bunch of what they called scab players to come in and play in place of... No, I'm thinking of the other one. I'm thinking of the one called Rudy, the one with Mark Wahlberg, which was a true story. Jeez. There's a lot of football movies.
But I think the Replacements is a true story as well. Yeah,
I think it was. They had players come in and they actually did really well. What we came to now, Flip, you're an NFL fan. You're a fan of Gridiron. I battle to watch Gridiron, yet I love American football movies.
They're all about American football, aren't they?
They're all about American football. It makes for great cinema.
Blindside.
Oh, Blindside is deep though. Blindside is deep. The one Sandra Bullock.
It's sad though.
It is. No, it's not really sad because the outcome's great though.
Yeah.
But it will get you though.
What was the other movie? The movie where Denzel is the coach. What is that?
Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans.
That's also good.
The one with Matthew McConaughey, We Are Marshall.
That was also a great one. Great chant.
Yeah, We Are Marshall. Yes, We Are Marshall will also get you. But all these movies will get you.
What about Oscar-worthy The Love Guru?
The Love Guru.
Yeah, so James and Ryan, listen, I got to tell anyone who's watching this, there are 7 men on set. 7 men on set. This place does smell how you would expect it to do, especially when the aircon's not working.
It's quite bad.
James and Ryan, it does smell how it looks.
Do you know sports movie we forgot? Actually, Flip, what do you think of Invictus?
Matt Damon as Francois.
It's actually the effect of the movie was pretty good in the sense that you could there's a lot of people speaking about it and actually discovered what happened in South Africa as a context and what rugby means to South Africa. As a movie, I don't. It's probably not the best movie in the world, but as in a context and the content that was created, and even for us as a young South African, even for us, who, I just lived, with clouds in my head at that time in '95. I didn't really take in what happened. It's good to reflect on the pressure they really went through. So great story all in all.
I want to ask on that one. So obviously that one, the rugby scenes were they tried to do quite visceral and make it feel like a rugby match. Flip, if you can remember, I mean, is that what it's like being on a rugby field, that pace, those hits, did they capture it well? Because that's what I'm always amazed by is like top level sports, how can you ever capture it? I mean, the speed, the hits, that first person view, I mean, did they capture it? Was it close, if you can remember?
I can't really. I don't think you can capture it on a movie because I mean it's still people acting. You can't act. Rugby is tougher. like a proper hard game is difficult and it's sore and it's fast and it's slow and it's tiring. It's difficult to capture that, but I mean I can't remember, to be honest.
So then what I do want to ask you, the next question, if Francois Pienaar has Matt Damon playing him, who's playing you?
Probably Sylvester Stallone.
Big call. I got Chris Hemsworth. I got one of the I got Chris Hemsworth, Thor. I got Chris Hemsworth playing
Thor
you.
Thor's already Dwayne Vermeulen. He's Thor.
That's funny. But speaking of which,
we
do you know what was...
in Denzel? Sorry, go.
No, go ahead. Yep, go ahead about Denzel.
I want to bring in Denzel for Sia Khaleesi. I think that is the.
Gee whiz, eh? But he can now because now he's part of Rock Nation now, and
Well, Denzel Washington's son, the guy who plays Ricky Jarrett, he could play Sia.
Yeah, actually,
that's not a bad one.
But he's too short, though.
You think he's too short?
He's too short.
It's too short. The thing about playing Sylvester Stallone is right now Sylvester Stallone has had so much surgery. He actually him and John Travolta, they look like they're wearing masks of themselves. Sylvester Stallone looks like he's wearing a Sylvester Stallone mask. That is the level of plastic surgery he's having. James and Ryan were trying to convince us that The Love Guru is a sports movie because it features hockey. That's the one with Mike Myers, right? And Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, so where he gets knocked out and then he wakes up and he's like, am I dreaming? And then he's like, no, why do you ask?
James and Ryan worry me in that little room of theirs. We got some social media. Senzo, I don't know if you got any social media stories you want up there, one of your Flip's opinion on things.
Oh, yes. So, first I'm going to start with... So, we're talking about Kylian Mbappe, right? And after his game yesterday as well, I was just looking at his numbers for club and country. So, he's played 291 games, 180 goals, 85 assists. So he's been
How many games has he played?
291.
And 180 goals.
And 85 assists.
Wow, that's almost leading to a goal every game he's played.
He's been directly involved in a goal once every 79.8 minutes on average. Like, I saw this on Squawka Football. Like, that's ridiculous. That is diabolical.
That's why you get paid the big bucks.
Yeah.
That's something.
So now we spoke the other day about Kylian Mbappe. He used to have a very clean boy image, right? And suddenly there's a lot of negativity around him. He's saying words like people treat him like a thief. Yeah. PSG made him out like that he's a thief. And then there was a little bit of hit back of, there's just words, mud being flung in Kylian Mbappe's way. Do you think he makes the move to Real Madrid in January already?
No, I think he's going to stay at PSG, actually.
For the season, try to see it out.
Yeah, well, it's gonna happen. So,
I want to talk to you about your French friend, Paul Pogba as well, Kylian Mbappe's teammate. Why the hell do they let a microphone anywhere near Paul Pogba on international duty?
I don't know.
Every time he goes off, he spouts off something. I mean, Flip, maybe we're going to get you to translate the French because I got to believe something's getting lost in translation all the time. His latest is so that I get asked. Manchester United have put a £400,000 a week contract on the table,
and he hasn't done any. But apparently, he's made a decision though.
Well, because he's and Flip, I want to tell you, we spoke about this the other day. The latest he says is, I always speak to my former Juventus teammates like Paulo Dybala. I'm in Manchester. I've still got a contract there for a year, and then we'll see. I want to finish well there in Manchester, then we'll see what happens. Why does he keep doing that?
I don't know. I think he's leveraging something. Yeah.
So now the cynic in us, Flip, is that Paul Pogba has got a very good friend, Anton Griezmann. Anton Griezmann has a very good friend called Gerard Piqué, a Barcelona teammate or ex-teammate. They together own a TV production company that makes documentaries. So when Griezmann, before his last big move, he made a documentary about his tough decision to make that move, okay? And pandered this and pulled it out for a full 18 months. Paul Pogba, why he's being so ambiguous now, is because he's got a documentary in the works now as well about his big decision to stay or go, and he's dragging Manchester United through the ringer because he's trying to, pad his documentary and make his documentary good. Zapata is saying after his last statement, someone should remove all microphones from Paul Pogba and Raiola. 100%, but I think we're going to have Flip as our official correspondent to listen to Paul Pogba in French and say, is he really saying that, or they're just mistranslating? What's your thought on footballers creating their own documentaries? I mean, LeBron did it, called The Decision. Paul Pogba is doing it. I mean...
Like, for me, there's no such thing as bad publicity. If they're talking about you, then you know you're relevant.
Well, isn't that today's world, Flip? If they're talking about you, then you're relevant. First up, what's your thought on these players going and commissioning these documentaries for themselves?
I mean, that's why I started a podcast with you guys.
But my thing is that, my thing is this, Flip. Would that be frowned upon amongst rugby players if you guys did something like that? I don't know, what your thoughts are?
It is an interesting thing. Is like in that all or nothing documentaries, which was they're really great. They did a couple of NFL teams. They did Man City. They did an NBA team as well, I think, and then they did the All Blacks. And rugby players are too humble to do that. We don't go, I kicked him in the shin and then took his place, and I was happy to take his position. And they speak to the All Blacks, which arguably they were the best team back then. And they were, at the time, was Ricky Ione, who was like the best thing on the world whenever he touched the ball, scored a try. And they asked him now, what's the feelings he went through? And he was like, I'm just very happy that I could make it. The content on it's so bad. It's nothing. No one will watch it and think, okay, well, rugby seems amazing. So I think it will be, if someone makes a documentary, it's probably why there never has been a decent documentary out of rugby. It's just people will think, you're upset. Everyone knows rugby players, it's just hard work, and it's not like football where one talent one guy in a team can change the team completely. Did you guys see the Springboks one off the World Cup?
Chasing the Sun, correct?
Yeah, Chasing the Sun.
You guys have got to sell that to me. I've never, because I'm a moron, I've never had a chance to watch it. James was nodding. Flip seems a fan. Senzo's a fan. Guys, why do I need to make it a priority to watch this weekend? Senzo, you first.
It's very, it will get you. It makes you feel like really, really, like, no, if you don't cry, if you don't get a frog in your throat, then, I don't know, man, you need to do some real soul searching and ask yourself if you are a human being. But I've got some breaking news, some very interesting news, right? They say Andy Murray's wedding ring and tennis shoes returned after they were stolen. So he pleaded for somebody to give back his shoes and his ring, and they were found like in a desert or something.
Flip, did you see the story about Andy Murray having his wedding? Senzo, just tell Flip more about it. I think it's such a fascinating story. So, and Andy Murray calling himself an idiot for what he did.
Yeah, Andy Murray's shoes were stolen, along with his wedding ring tied to one of the shoelaces. The former world number one had issued a video plea in order to recover his shoes. So Andy Murray's wedding ring and tennis shoes have been recovered after they disappeared in a California desert. Like, what was going on?
Where did he play?
He was playing at Indian Wells, so Indian Wells is like in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
What is any news on what his wife said about it?
I don't know. I really don't know. But he says, yeah, his shoes
That,
were returned.
you guys reckon? You guys reckon that is a Las Vegas story?
I don't know. It's interesting, but he says, yeah.
Yes, you lost it all in Vegas. Just admit it.
Yeah, I lost my ring. I lost my ring next to a training field. You know,
In
The
a high
first-
stakes
the
poker
first
game.
lady that- exactly. First
Yeah, he
lady
said-
that came, he took that ring off, threw it away.
Look, he said, I had to make a few phone calls today and chat to the security at the hotel and everything. So I'm like, really, Andy? Really? And he says his shoes still stink. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, they obviously stink from him. The person who stole it wasn't wearing them unless they put them on to run away.
Yeah, I said, would you believe it? They still absolutely stink, but the shoes are back. The wedding ring is back, and I'm good. I'm in the good books. So he was in the dog box.
You are huge in the dog box. Huge in the dog box. Like, I sometimes lose my wedding ring in my gym bag. I'm like, the moments of like cold sweat that goes through you. Is that a message from MKT on the screen? I cannot join the show because my friends have spoken to the Saudis to make sure that I can never comment on, is that Ollie and football, or on oil and football, and Senzo's still not having a phone. MKT, I just want to say to you, this is why you get overtaken. From the field report, Tony McCann has confirmed that she's not trying to take James Ilsley from his current lady, who's rumored to be leaving him because of lockdown. Is James happy or trapped? I feel this is a disruptive third force from MKT trying to ruin the show with his spurious allegations of James's relationship status.
Yeah, he's deflecting.
James, this is aimed at you. Shots fired. Defend yourself.
I don't have to. I'm a good Christian boy.
You are a good Christian boy. You are a good Christian boy. Flip, why am I an idiot for not watching Chasing the Sun? Why should I make it my priority this weekend?
To be completely honest, we've spoken about this as well. The powers that be at SuperSport did not allow a foreigner like myself to watch Chasing the Sun. So I did watch the first 2 episodes via friends that send that link of the piracy thing. And then the FBI trapped us and we weren't allowed to watch it further. I only watched the 2. And it's the same as Enzo said, it's not about it's the story behind it. It's almost like a little bit like the Michael Jordan thing.
Last dance, yeah.
The last dance it's a very, very emotional, very deep story, and you get into the psyche of the coach and how the coach had to work with people, and there's the Mpipi story. I think we all saw the Mpipi story everywhere. And it's touching stuff. It's touching stuff, and you just show the difference between South Africa and any other nation when it comes to rugby and sport and the power that sport has in South Africa to bring people together.
So if Invictus didn't capture what it's like to be a Springbok rugby player from your point of view, was that 100% relatable? And like, yes, that's what it's like.
Speaking of that, do you know what I was watching yesterday, Flip? Have you seen Bad Sports on Netflix?
I have not seen it, no.
I was watching the Hansi Cronje episode yesterday. She was heavy.
Oh, I heard it. Someone actually sent it to me yesterday. Someone actually
heavy.
told me I need to watch it. Oh, yeah.
It is so heavy, like, yes. And the way they started, like, they play on this whole thing about South Africa's dynamics and all that, and
Hectic, heavy stuff.
and they have the guy who first spoke to Hansi, like the guy who first, like, you know, convinced him to like take money for fixing and stuff like that. That guy has got no scum, man. No scum whatsoever. And it's deep because the thing is, his brother's on it.
Really?
His wife is on it. Like, his sister's on it. Like, it's crazy.
That's
That's
Bad
pretty
Sports on Netflix. There's a whole bunch of them in the series, but obviously the one we'll be looking out for is Hansi. I'm hearing some music in my ear, which means James wants me to come inside the control room and give him a hug. I can't let the poor kid down, him and his thumbs. Flip, we've started a GoFundMe for James to get him new ligaments for his thumbs because they've obviously been damaged. If you know any good surgeons that can help with those, look at those things. He looks like a Lego man. That's how useless his thumbs are. I'm coming inside for a hug, James. This is the PTP show right now. It's on YouTube. It's live. It's Friday. If you're not drunk, you should be. But if you don't drink, that's also okay. Have some water. Have a breath. Have a break. We'll be back with the last 20 minutes or so of the show. Flip's staying with us. You are, Flip, right? You're still with us? Next 20 minutes.
Yeah.
This is the Good. This is the PTP show. The last 20 minutes of the PTP show. So you better just shove it into your eyeballs and your ear holes. That sounded way dirtier than I meant it to. There it is. There it is. Andy Murray. We figured it out. Flip figured it out. This is why we have Flip on. The mind of a sportsman. He gives us the insight of an elite athlete's thought process. Andy Murray acting like somebody stole his sneakers. Somebody stole his wedding ring. Very conveniently, should I say, that while you're in Vegas, your wedding ring goes missing. Probably in a high-stakes celebrity poker game with Kanye West and Logan Paul. Andy Murray lost his wedding ring. That's definitely what happened, and that's why we have Flip on the show, that athlete's insight. Thank you for that, Flip. That's fantastic stuff.
I have a question.
James has a question.
James has a question for Flip. So Flip, since
Go my
you...
best friend.
Stop, I'm going to blush. Since you sent me graphics now, does that mean I work for you or you work for me?
You obviously work for me.
Oh,
I'm a
okay.
superstar,
I
yeah.
just want to make sure.
Sorry about that, James.
You set yourself up, James. Flip is number one. We all work for Flip, but ultimately we all work for the Saudis. Flip, Senzo wants to talk to Springbok Rugby, wants to get some of your thoughts. I'll hand it over to the most handsome man in the studio.
Why, thank you. Flip, what a game last week, eh?
How good? Can we just take a minute, as in I say minute, 1 second of silence for Francis Steyn?
Yes.
Like, how good is that guy?
Yes. So what were your top three
What
favorite
a
moments in the game?
Probably most favorite moment is that last penalty when France Steyn came running like 50 meters, across the field to hug everyone, Second most favorite moment is when he tried to high five Vincent Koch, and Vincent Koch just ignored him, so he had to high five himself, which is quite good.
I love that.
Yeah, this is the small things that make the difference. And then, well, just winning the All Blacks.
Yeah.
That's so good.
And also, do you know what made it so sweet? That we went back to number one after beating them. And
Yeah.
it's crazy. But also, guys, look on your arms pass. Like, that's ridiculous, eh?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Oh, that was mad.
I was thinking of something. That was very good.
That was
very good. Like the confidence to do that.
Like, but he made it seem like he was breathing. Like, he made it seem like so nonchalant. Like, it's just like, yeah, here. Like, yeah, have it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
yes.
So good.
But do you think
So good. I'm such a fan of the Springboks, man. They're so good.
So tell me this. Does it really hurt, like, losing to the All Blacks, or is it just like, okay, no, they deserved it, or like, how does it compare in losing to other opposition or beating them?
Beating the All Blacks is always special because I think for both of the teams it stays the ultimate test. It stays the ultimate challenge is to play against each other. And you can see I went into a little chat about this to other guys, and it shows you the mental focus you need when you go into rugby. I think after the Lions series, the only focus the Boks had was on the All Blacks, and you saw the difference between the two tests they played against the All Blacks and the two tests they played against Australia. It's a different Bok team, same players, different Bok team, different mentality. So aggressive, so much more confident in what they can do. It just shows you that little loss of concentration at that level, and you out of it.
I don't know if you get that. I don't know. Maybe you can talk to me about this a bit more. Does it feel like when they're playing each other, they're sussing each other out, and it's like, okay, they're trying so hard not to make a mistake that they play within themselves?
I don't think so. I think the thing that you must remember when the Springboks and the All Blacks play each other, there's 30 of the best players in the world on the field at any given time. So doing something that like Lucanio Arms did, I mean, even all the Barrett brothers looked very average this weekend. It's just because there's no space. There's no space to do all your magic tricks and try something funny. You know, if you make a mistake, that's where Lucanio Arms try, or rather, who scored the try? Dalende scored the try. That's where his try came from. Is from a mistake from the All Blacks. One mistake, try on the other side. You know, that's the type of things. Also, hats off to Kwaka Smith. That guy is like a little energizer bunny.
Yeah, he is. He's Duracell battery, like just getting in there.
Very good.
Yeah.
And Captain Sia.
Did you see Rusty's celebration on the social media?
In the boxer shorts.
Yeah, in the boxer shorts.
That guy is becoming a content creator.
I was going to say, for somebody who's like so good at video editing, I was a little bit disappointed. I felt there should have been better angles in that, multi-cuts, a couple of replays, just one stock on standard, that's it.
Yeah.
The little SAB beer perfectly balanced.
I wondered about that. Was the beer small, or he's just so big that he made the beer look small?
That's what. Those are the real questions. Actually,
that's what I look for. That's what I wonder.
So another thing I've also wondered: what's it like facing the haka?
It's a weird thing. You get it asked a lot, and it's a weird thing because in that time and moment, you have to respect the tradition that it is. But then you also look back to the hakas in the 1980s or even 1990s when they played 95 when they played a World Cup here. It's a bunch of it looks like Afrikaans people dancing it, or Angela Merkel doing the little doing this little, it's not the synchronized thing where now it's a solid play, which probably is how it's supposed to be, but you don't really. I can't really say it sucks you up or it sucks you out or anything. You know that's going to be part of the process. You have to accept it. It's a challenge they give to you, so you accept it. There's tradition in the whole process. and then afterwards, you should just know, that's probably why the All Blacks are so good, because they look like Belucas now that they've done a haka, so impressive, and they lost.
Yeah. But my thing is about that. Do they talk to you guys about, like, let's say you're about to face the haka. Do they talk to you about, like, okay, guys, you have to be respectful, and like, what can't you do and what can you do, and what the New Zealanders will deem as disrespectful during the haka?
There's now I need to think. I don't think there's an official discussion. There's obviously a little talk going around the cloakroom, during the week leading up to stuff, and there's sometimes there's a little bit of strategy. Should we take like cold things, or tracksuit? Should you wear a tracksuit? Just because not to get cold while they are dancing and you're just standing there. Because you sing the anthem, then you go watch that thing. There's about 10 minutes that goes past without you moving. So there's stuff like that to think about. And then there are rules set by the IRB now that you should be 20 meters apart. You see they're on the 110-meter line, and the opposition team on the other side, and you're not allowed to go past those lines for some funny reason. It's New Zealand. You're not allowed to touch them. And then, and then outside of that, they're probably the biggest advice is just enjoy it. Take it in, because a couple of years after you stop playing rugby, you end up like me. You can't really remember what happened during those times.
Yeah. Speaking of something else, are you into boxing?
I am.
Who are you backing?
I was an Anthony Joshua fan until last weekend.
Yeah.
Was it 2 weekends ago? Last 2 weekends.
Yeah, but he got outboxed though. But for this week's for Saturday/Sunday's fight, who's your money on?
Who's fighting? Sorry, mate.
I'm not Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, part 3.
Oh, no. Fury. Sorry, yeah, I actually knew that. Fury, 100%, the Gypsy King.
Do you think he's going to knock him out again?
I think Wilder's got a little bit of a glass chin. He's probably going to take it hard. Tyson Fury is like that guy that you always had at sports, or in the exam. No, I didn't really study. I don't really train. I'm not really fit. I'm not going to do it, and then gets straight A's or wins everything. I think Tyson Fury is he's secretly that type of guy.
Yeah, because also he can outbox you, and his footwork is very good and stuff like that. But he's been taunting Wilder the whole time. He's saying if he beats Wilder this time, Wilder is he's finished. He'll retire. He's finished. He's finished.
But it's Anthony Joshua is finished now.
No, but Tyson Fury offered to train him. He said he'll train him for the Usyk rematch.
That will be good.
No, but
what is the Russian guy called again?
Which one? Usyk.
Is it Usyk the guy that beat Anthony Joshua?
Yeah, Usyk. Yeah.
I think that guy is going to be. He's going to be massive.
He's brilliant. He hasn't lost a fight yet, and he can properly box.
Did you hear his interview afterwards?
No, what did he say?
Well, he barely got. I'll need to find that on the Twitter web somewhere, but he can barely speak.
Yeah, he doesn't need to speak. He speaks with these.
It's
the only language he understands.
He's bred to box.
Yes, but all those guys, those Eastern European guys, hard guys. You don't mess around with
What's happening with Mbulelo? Is he being sad that he has to be in the bush and can't be with us?
Yeah, so there is nothing sadder than a despot holding on to power. Mbulelo, all he's doing is he's just trying to trigger everyone, and he has sent through a question. He's out in the Tsitsikamma rainforest. I thought he was running the Otter Trail. He tries to say no, he only runs events of 100 kilometers at a time. He's talking there, which may surprise you or not. He's running his mouth, and somebody's giving him money for it.
Has he been sent for initiation? Is that why he's up there?
Yeah, well, I hope he comes back a man. And he's taking shots at you saying, is Flip's brother smarter than him because your brother's an actuarial science guy and you only have an MBA? He's not trying to cause trouble.
Yeah.
Do we even dignify this with an answer?
Yeah, definitely. I'll take Mbulelo on because we all know actuarial science is not a science, actually. It's mathematics. It's not science. where I'm a data science engineer, which is an actual science. So we can take that just actual, and then you calculate risk. So it's all right.
And he's trying to defend exactly. You took that on perfectly. Take him on again desperately. I've made the mistake before. I hired James only to find out that his brother is Jesus. Jesus' cousin twice removed. Jesus and his cousin live in Vietnam. Spoiler alert. So that's Umbulelo trying to say he chose the wrong brother once, wondering if he chose the wrong brother twice. Like I say, desperately clinging to power. Flip, thank you for joining us.
We could get my brother on here. We could get my brother on here. I mean, he's an actuary. If you can make him speak, it'd be great.
Oh, Flip.
Yeah.
Ryan said he'll arm wrestle you next time you're here.
Taken. Write it down.
Done.
Yeah, that's a match. Actually, I'm going to promote that. I'm Eddie Hearn of this.
Is Ryan clinically insane? Why would you say that? That's just...
Ryan was wearing a UFC M&M sleeveless shirt the other day. Frightened me. The man is huge. Now he wants to arm wrestle Flip. The whole world has gone mad. The cat's away. The mice have definitely played. Flip, thank you for joining us. It was so awesome meeting you last week. I think everyone was buzzing. It was so cool. We saw people in this building that we never seen before. Housewife's favorite, Flip van der Merwe, all the way from France. Have a good weekend, buddy. Enjoy all the sports. We'll see you next week.
Cheers, guys. Keep well. See you next week on the long lunch.
The long lunch. This is the PTP show. Listen, all jokes aside, we're wrapping it up. I think we've got a couple of minutes left. The PTP show has been a joke. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for everyone who's come in with the cool comments, sharing our content. I've had a hell of a blast. MKT, hopefully he's back from Monday, but if not, the seat is very, very comfortable. I want to thank everyone on the team here who've made so easy, such good stuff. I want to thank all the idiots in the sports world that have given me so much content to talk about during the week. Everything. Cliff Central Sports, Cliff C Sport, Senzo what? It's Cliff Central Sports on YouTube, Cliff Central Sport on the podcast, Cliff C Sport on the social medias. Senzo, thank you for all your support this week. You've been a great co-host. Ryan, James, the guys on the cameras, the guys on the mics, the ones and twos, and mostly everybody who has taken the time. It is 2 hours every day. It is a lot of time to give to a certain set of guys. We are thankful every time you click play. We're only here because of you. The PTP show is going to hibernation. MKT is back on Monday. Great sporting weekend, Turkish Grand Prix, boxing. I think there's some NFL.
UEFA Nations League final.
UEFA Nation League's final, France versus Spain. How could I forget? Oh yes, because probably I don't want anything to do with Paul Pogba. Have a good weekend. Back on Monday. We are the hell out of here.